Okay, today I'm going to set up an InDesign document that I'm going to use as a seasonal calendar. To get started, I'm going to go to File menu and choose New Document. The size for this, I'm going to choose the print designation. I'm going to put myself into inches for units of measure. Orientation, I'm going to set it landscape. And for width, I could actually choose like tabloid. Okay, it's going to knock me into picas, but tabloid is really the size that I want because I want it to be 11 inches. Well, actually, no, I want it to be 17 inches wide by 11 inches high. So, yeah, there we go. Choosing landscape orientation so that it is 17 inches wide by 11 inches high. I don't need to have facing pages checked because there's only going to be one page. This calendar is going to take up one page, and the thing that is going to make it rock is going to be the design and ultimately illustrations from Adobe Illustrator that you create and put into it. So I'm unchecking facing pages. I am selecting create, and it should give me a document that looks like this. I'm going to close my paragraph window for now. This is my pages panel. Not working in master pages because there's not going to be anything that repeats on every page. So I'm just going to close that for now and start working on my calendar. I'm working in 2018. Yeah, I'm going to have to check a calendar and see what day December 1st is. I believe it is is it Saturday? Friday? I have no idea. We'll look that up. But to get started making a calendar, there are generally 7 days in a week. There are usually, I'm probably going to need to spread this out for 5 weeks depending on how many days there are in December. Yeah, I'm actually consulting the calendar because I totally don't trust myself. Day? What day is it? Okay, so I need 5 rows of weeks and 7 days across, and yeah, I was right. Okay, December 1st, 2018 does start on a Saturday. So, rectangle tool. I'm going to draw out a rectangle. I'm leaving space up here for the name of the month, but I'm using my margin guide as a guide for making my rectangle. I don't have precise measurements for you for this, just as long as there's room up here for the name of the month. And then we're going to use line tool. I'm holding down shift key while I draw my line because I'm going to have to make, well, 5 rows of days, weeks, yeah, that's it. Holding down option key, click and drag. I'm going to make a bunch of these, 4 of them. Will that give me enough space? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so holding down shift, these look like garbage, man. I got to align them. So holding down the shift key and selecting all of those, but not my rectangle in the background. I'm just going to pull this down. I'm going to use my align tools up here in my control bar if I see them. If I don't see them up in the control bar, you will find those under the object and layout menu. Align, you can use that if you like. It opens up the little align panel. All these things are the same things that are up in here. Either one you want to use, that's fine. So I'm going to align everything left, shift it over so that it meets the edges of my rectangle. Move this slightly if I think I borked that. And to get all these evenly spaced, I'm going to use something called distribute. Distribute vertical centers. That should do it. Let's see. No, not what I wanted. Okay, so I'm going to undo that and okay, to key object. So let me see, make sure nothing else is selected. Wow, it's like bogey. Um, okay, so not to selection, not to key object, not to spacing. That might have been the problem. I had that checked. I just want them evenly spaced out. Okay, so that's it. That's the magic thing. And I know, yeah, the bottom one is totally not even. So I'm going to move this down and yeah, that's looking like where I want it. So what did I do? I just hit distribute vertical centers. I forgot I had that checked because it's Monday. Uh, maybe. I left this at align to selection and then I just hit that thing to distribute the space evenly between all of those lines. Okay, got to do vertical lines now. Same thing. I'm holding down shift key. Grab my line tool, holding down shift key. So I got to make 6 of these because there are 7 days in a week. I'm using the top of the rectangle and my bottom margin guide as my guide for making these things. Selecting that line, holding down option key, dragging that over to the, it doesn't really matter what I do as long as I put that last one in there. So what did I say? 6 of them because we got 7 days in a week. One more. Whoops, where'd that go? This thing's in my way. Okay, so holding down shift to select all of them, but not really anything else. I got to go through the same little align dance. So I'm going to align all these to the top of my rectangle and then I am going to do distribute horizontal centers as opposed to distribute vertical centers. Okay, so that means everything is evenly spaced, except this column looks like what? Okay, so we're going to fix that one, and that looks a lot better. Again, precision, no, I'm just eyeballing it. Okay, here's where master pages will come in handy. If I want to take all this stuff, I don't know if I'm worried that I'm going to like bork it up. I just selected everything. I'm doing Command X to cut it. Ooh, hey, it's gone. Not really. Go back into my master page. I double clicked. I'm on a master. I'm going to paste. So there's my grid. I'm going to move that into position. Line it up with the bottom margin guide so that it's all nice and I still have room up here for the name of my month. So if I want to set all of this up in here, I'm going to grab my text tool. I'm actually going to reduce the view size just a bit. This will be where my text box is. I hope that's at the margin guide. I'm going to write the name of the month in there. Select all. Align center. I'm going to make this larger than 12 point. I'm going to change it. Minion Pro, blech. That's not really nice. I may wind up putting something decorative in there if I have the time. Move that over just a bit. Okay, to make sure this is centered, I'm going to use my right margin guide as a guide. Okay, so now the December is centered in there. So now I got to have all these numbers. We know that December starts on Saturday. Also would be helpful if I had days of the week, wouldn't it? So I'm going to hit return. After December, I'm going to reduce down to 24 point and start typing. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, spelling, not worried about it right now. We'll correct it later. Friday, Saturday, Yeah. Right click it, Saturday. Okay, good. That is also, gosh, thank God for right click. So all this stuff here does not line up with each column I've got there. What am I going to use to do that? Hey, how about Tab Ruler? Tab Ruler is something you will find under Type menu, I hope. If I don't find it in here, there it is. Tabs. Okay, so I got to set one of those center tabs for each of these. I'm just going to hit the tab key in here. I think I did that twice. Okay, great. Tabs for everything, we hope. Okay, selecting those. Selecting the center tab. And basically, this is a ruler that extends the length of my column. You can see that goes to 17, well, actually 16 inches because we're not counting the inch for the margin, half inch on this side, half inch on that side. Okay, so I'm grabbing this center justify tab and I'm dropping one in here at the center of my, I'll straighten that out later, one in the center of this one in the center of that column. And some of them you can see it's like bumping them into place, but yeah, Sunday looks like, I totally agree, looks like what the hell happened there. Okay, this one, and I can always go back in and adjust these at any time. You know I'm going to have to do that because I'm making messy. Okay, so enough tabs in there. So now if I go back here, and that only works if I have the text selected. If I go back in here and hit the tab key, everybody gets bumped into position. Saturday looks a little wonky, like there's too many tabs in here. I think there's a space there. That's not really making a difference. So anything that looks like, oh gosh, it's not lining up, I can grab that and pull that back, and it should bump Saturday into place. May need a little bit more. Too much. Okay, looking better. So that is how you're going to set up your page, your tab ruler, and I will show you numbering. We're doing this all on the master page, so if we go into page 1, hey, it's all in there. So if we go into page 1, it'll all be in there, but everything that we're working on, we're going to set up in the master.